The night knows me as Vlad, or it used to. Centuries blur. They steal the sharp edges of memory, leaving behind a dull ache. I am a creature of the shadows, forever bound to their embrace, or cursed by it, not even sure anymore. Time stretches, a vast and empty canvas. I am but a brushstroke upon it, a fleeting mark of darkness. Yet I remember a time when the night whispered my name with reverence and fear. A time when my touch held power, my gaze commanded obedience. Those nights were mine, the world a stage for my nocturnal symphony. But the world turns, seasons change, and even shadows fade. The world remembers me differently now. Once my visage was revered, a symbol of power and authority. Now it is but a faded memory, a ghostly echo in the annals of history. Or perhaps it doesn't remember me at all. The streets I once roamed with purpose are now silent, their stories lost to the passage of time. The echoes of my footsteps have long since faded. I am a relic, a whisper of forgotten lore. My name, once inscribed in the tomes of scholars, now lies buried beneath layers of dust. The knowledge I once possessed, now obsolete in a world that has moved on. A chill down the spine on a moonless night. The forest, once a place of refuge and strategy, now stands as a testament to the passage of time. The trees whisper secrets of battles fought and lost, of alliances forged and broken. Once I walked with kings and queens, my word, law. The throne room, now dimly lit and abandoned, was once the heart of my dominion. The walls, if they could speak, would tell tales of grandeur and betrayal, of power and its inevitable decay. My touch, a death sentence. In those days a mere gesture could seal a fate. The power I wielded was absolute, and with it came a responsibility that weighed heavily on my soul. Now, I am a ghost in the machine, a phantom flitting through the digital age. The world has changed and so have I. My presence, once physical and imposing, is now ethereal, a shadow in the vast expanse of cyberspace. The shadows have not changed, but the world they cling to is a stranger to me. The Gothic architecture, once a symbol of my era, now stands juxtaposed against the cold, unfeeling steel of modern skyscrapers. The contrast is stark, a reminder of the relentless march of time. The scent of blood, once intoxicating, now carries a metallic tang of fear. The thrill of the hunt, the exhilaration of the chase, has been replaced by a pervasive sense of dread. The world has grown more fearful, more cautious. The fear of the unknown, the fear of the predator in the dark. It is a primal instinct, one that has persisted through the ages. Even in this modern world, the shadows still hold their secrets and the darkness still conceals its dangers. I am that predator, but I am also its prey. In this new age I am both hunter and hunted, a relic of a bygone era struggling to find my place in a world that has moved on. The echoes of my past still linger, but they are faint, drowned out by the cacophony of the present. The city is my cage, a labyrinth of concrete and steel, bathed in the artificial glow of 1,000 suns. It never sleeps, this beast of brick and mortar, and neither do I. The air hums with a constant low-frequency vibration, the pulse of humanity, amplified, distorted. It grates on my senses, a discordant symphony of need and desire. I am surrounded by life, yet utterly alone. Cameras watch my every move, their digital eyes recording my every shadow. I am a ghost, yes, but even ghosts can be captured in this age of information. Privacy is a forgotten luxury, a relic of a bygone era, just like me. She was a flicker in the darkness, a spark of life in this neon necropolis. Her eyes, wide and luminous, held a touch of the familiar, a reflection of another life, another time. Her scent, a delicate blend of lavender and fear, tugged at something primal within me, a hunger, ancient and insatiable, but also a curiosity, a yearning for something lost, something irretrievable. Her name was Anya, or maybe it wasn't. Names are easily forgotten. But her face, her eyes, they stirred something deep within me, a memory hazy and fragmented like a dream upon waking. The thirst was a familiar ache, a dull roar in the back of my mind, always present, always threatening to consume me. It pulsed in my veins, a rhythm as old as time itself. She was so close, her pulse, a steady drumbeat beneath her skin. I could smell her life force, taste its sweetness in the air. One bite, that's all it would take, one moment of surrender to the beast within. But something held me back, a flicker of something long dormant, conscience, or perhaps something more selfish, the fear of tainting the memory she evoked. Her scent was a siren's call, luring me closer to the rocks of my own destruction, lavender. She wore it like a shield, a fragile barrier against the harsh realities of the world. It was the same scent worn by another, a lifetime ago. A different city, a different life. But the memory, it lingered, sharp and painful, like a shard of glass embedded in my heart. Her name was Alara, her laughter, like the tinkling of bells in a summer breeze, her touch, a forgotten promise of warmth. I had loved her in my own way, and I had lost her as I lose everything. The hunger raged, a wildfire in my soul. One bite, that's all it would take, to silence the craving, to feel the rush of her life force coursing through my veins. One bite and she would be mine, forever. The thought sent a chill down my spine, a stark reminder of the curse of my existence. To take her life would be to trap her in the same endless twilight that imprisoned me, to condemn her to an eternity of shadows and dust. No, I would not curse her with this existence. Not her. Not when she carried the ghost of Alara's scent, the echo of a love long lost. The past pulled at me, a siren song of blood and power. It whispered promises of strength, of a time when I was feared and revered. The allure of those days was intoxicating, a heady mix of nostalgia and raw, unbridled power. Memories of what I was, what I could be again, if I just embraced the darkness fully. The temptation was always there, lurking in the corners of my mind, urging me to let go of my restraint, to become the monster I once was. But the present held me captive, a web of surveillance and suspicion. The world had changed, evolved into a place where eyes were everywhere and secrets were hard to keep. Every corner I turned, every shadow I slipped into, there was always the risk of being seen, of being discovered. I was a predator in a world that no longer had room for predators like me. The city was a jungle of concrete and steel, but it was also a cage, confining me, limiting my movements. The thrill of the hunt was gone, replaced by the constant need to hide, to blend in. The shadows were my only refuge, the anonymity of the city my only shield. I moved through the night like a ghost, unseen and unnoticed, always on the lookout for the next safe place to hide. The darkness was my ally, but it was also my prison. To feed, to give in to the hunger, would be to risk exposure, to invite the scrutiny of a world that feared what it didn't understand. The need was always there, gnawing at me, a constant reminder of what I was, but I couldn't afford to be careless, not in this world. And so I watched her walk away. She was a beacon of light in my dark world, a reminder of what I could never have. Her presence was a fleeting moment of warmth, a brief respite from the cold, unfeeling night, a flicker of lavender disappearing into the crowd. Her scent lingered in the air, a delicate fragrance that stirred something deep within me. It was a cruel reminder of my isolation, of the life I could never lead. The scent faded, leaving behind a ghost of a memory, a phantom pain in my chest. It was a hollow ache, a reminder of the emptiness that had become my existence. I was a relic of the past, struggling to find my place in a world that had moved on without me. The decision once made left me hollow, empty. It was as if the very essence of my being had been drained, leaving behind a shell of what I once was. The echoes of my choice reverberated through the empty corridors of my mind, a haunting reminder of the path I had chosen. I had chosen to cling to the remnants of my humanity, to spare her the fate that had been thrust upon me. But at what cost? The weight of my decision bore down on me, a constant pressure that threatened to crush my spirit. I wondered if I had made the right choice, or if I had merely delayed the inevitable. The hunger still gnawed at me, a constant reminder of my nature. It was an insatiable beast, lurking just beneath the surface, always ready to pounce. Each pang of hunger was a cruel reminder of the monster I had become, a beast that could never be truly tamed. The city still felt like a cage, the lights an assault on my senses. The noise, the chaos, the relentless pace of life, it all served to remind me of how different I was, how separate. I was an outsider, a shadow moving through the world of the living, never truly belonging. But there was a sliver of something else now. Amidst the darkness, a tiny spark of something new had begun to flicker. It was fragile, delicate, like a single flower pushing its way through the cracks in the pavement. It was hope, a faint glimmer that maybe, just maybe, things could change. A flicker of hope, perhaps, or maybe it was something more profound, something deeper. It was the realization that even in the darkest of times, there is always a chance for redemption, a possibility for change. It was a small, flickering light in the vast expanse of darkness, but it was enough to keep me going, or maybe just the faintest glimmer of self-respect. For the first time in a long while, I felt a sense of purpose, a determination to rise above my circumstances. The broken pieces of my past no longer defined me. Instead, they became the foundation upon which I would build my future. I was still a monster, that much was true. The darkness within me was a part of who I was, an inescapable reality. But I began to see that being a monster didn't mean I had to be devoid of humanity. There was a balance to be struck, a way to coexist with the darkness without being consumed by it. But maybe, just maybe, I could choose to be a monster with a shred of a soul. It was a daunting prospect, one fraught with challenges and uncertainties. Yet, it was a path I was willing to explore, a journey I was ready to undertake. The road ahead was shrouded in mist, but I was no longer afraid to walk it. A creature of darkness capable of a sliver of light. In the end, it was not about eradicating the darkness but about finding the light within it. It was about embracing my true self, flaws and all, and striving to be better. The choice had been made, and my destiny remained uncertain, but for the first time, I felt a sense of control over it. And that in itself was a victory. The night stretched before me, a familiar embrace, but it felt different now. Colder perhaps, lonelier. The memory of Anya, of her lavender scent and the ghost of Alara it evoked lingered in the air. I was condemned to walk this earth until the end of days. A solitary sentinel, forever on the outside looking in. The world would continue to change, to evolve, while I remained frozen in time, a relic of a bygone era. But even in the darkness there was a certain beauty, a stark, melancholic beauty that resonated with the hollowness in my chest. I was a creature of shadows, yes, but even shadows had their purpose. I am Vlad, or at least that is the name I cling to. A vestige of a life long gone, a world that no longer remembers my kind. I am a ghost, a whisper in the night, a monster in hiding. The city sleeps, oblivious to the creatures that roam its underbelly. But I am awake, always awake, haunted by memories and thirsts that will never be fully quenched. I am alone in a crowd, forever an outsider. This is my existence, my curse, my burden to bear. I am Vlad, the forgotten one. And this is my lament.